So this video is not a critique to anyone. It's something that I'm still struggling with as a teacher. It's one of the biggest problems of us as teachers. If we want to be teachers, if we care about that, it's also part of a reason why it took so long to advance in dance and stuff like that. So when I'm learning from somebody, I'm thinking, have they been through what I'm going through now? Because if they haven't, I'm thinking, can they really comprehend? Can they really understand where I am now? Can they understand what I'm struggling with? If they haven't been through these difficulties that I'm currently going through, can they help me? Because if they haven't been through it, how do they know how to go through it? How do they know how to get to the other side? That's what I'm thinking about. So, for example, me as a dance teacher, I'm constantly have to remind myself to remember what it's like being a beginner, what it's like being an intermediate, what it's like not being able to do a saida, what it's like whatever, and putting myself into that mindset and speaking to the person who's at that point, and speaking and telling them only the things that they have to know at that moment, not telling them too much, not overwhelming them, but also not telling them too little, giving them a big picture of what they need to work on, but also what to focus on now, speaking to them in a way that they know that I understand them, that they know where they are. It's one of the hardest things of being a teacher. It's really one of the hardest things. And like I see, this is why I say I don't want this to seem like a critique, but I see a lot of good dancers, like really, really amazing dancers. They're way better than me, yeah? I see them providing solutions to certain problems which I know will not solve the problem. You know, I see things that are being sold to people. So one of the most common things is like, okay, I'm selling, learn this move, learn this new move, learn this figure, and they show you the figure. But how do you get to a point when you have a person who cannot coordinate themselves to do a touch step, who doesn't understand hip movement, who has a poor core activation, who has a scoliosis, like for example, like I do, and then one part of your body is more active, or you're twisted in some way. One part side of the body, it's easier to do something than on the other, because you don't have glute connection, you cannot position yourself well through space. Like we can go really deep into things that people are dealing with. And so when somebody presents as a solution that, okay, learn a saida, but learn this move, learn this is how you even when we are explaining as teachers, how to do a certain technique, but how do I even make myself able to do that technique? So I'm talking about like layers deeper. Now, not everybody needs this kind of work. Not everybody needs to go through these certain things. So for example, my body was not working well, still isn't really working well. So I'm fixing it, and as I'm fixing it, dancing is becoming easier. So in my example, for example, no matter how many repetitions of certain move or certain technique I did, until I fixed certain problems in my body, I'm not gonna be able to do those techniques. I'm not gonna be able to look a certain way while I'm dancing. I'm not gonna be able to do these moves that I see online or that I want to do. I'm not gonna be able to do them. And so in my, for example, case, an advanced dancer, a person who dances, they were 5 years old, somebody who played soccer their whole life, and has a footwork coordination, they cannot help me. They cannot help me because I need certain knowledge from a person who had scoliosis, or who fixed scoliosis, or who sat the whole day at the desks and knows how it feels to have your digestion fucked up because you're not using your core, you're not moving, and there's nothing happening here, so you're bloated and stuff like that. So I'm talking about things that dance teachers are not talking about. And as I said, it's okay. Like, they're not talking about it because a lot of people maybe don't need this. But from my perspective, now teaching people for I don't know how many years live, everybody's fucked up in some way. Everybody has certain imbalances in their body. There's a rare person who doesn't have them, and let me tell you, like, they are very easy to teach. I just show them what they need to do, and they just need to repeat a couple of times, and then they're able to do it. So yeah, this is why I like the naming base work. Not now related to the online program, stuff like that. Just the idea. Yeah, just the idea of having it in my head of, okay, what's the base? Like, what do I need to learn first? So for example, now I'm doing woodworking outside, and I'm thinking about, okay, what skills do I need to have? So for example, my chisel got it wasn't sharp anymore. So, okay, if I want to continue working, I need to learn how to sharpen a chisel. So what I did, I went to the store, I bought a sharpening stone, I put it in water, I learned the technique, and oh, I now have a sharp chisel. It's not perfect, but I'm getting closer. You see what I mean? So there are things that we should learn first, that we should focus on first, that even enable us to unlock all the other things. If we don't focus on them and only focus on trying to unlock all the other things, sooner or later we're going to bump into a wall or hit a ceiling, and we're not going to be able to go any further. And so when you're here and you don't know these things, these skills, you're not gonna learn them from a person who started here, you know. So an example I always like to take, and this is not an offense, but I'm gonna get to it. So if you're learning from a person who danced since they were 5 and you started when you were 30, they're not gonna be able to relate to you. Probably not always. This is why I say it's not. If a teacher is somebody who dances for a long time is listening to this, keep in mind that you don't know the things that you don't know. Okay, so something is natural to you because you've done it since you were a kid. It's natural. It's easy for you to do certain movements, but for a lot of people it's not. So if you're teaching people, you're gonna have to do a shit ton of more work to try to understand their problem, where they are now, what they're dealing with. And as I said at the beginning of the video or in the middle, this is one of the hardest things about being a teacher, relating to a person and where they are at the moment. So yeah, this is what I wanted to share. Think about where you are now. What are the things that you need to work on now so that you're able to do things later? And search for people, not just in dance, not like wherever. Search for people who've been through it and they've done the work in teaching others how to get through it, you know? Because now you have two things. You have a person who's been through it, who's working with people who are going through it, and can then therefore help you in a much better way go through it, you know. A person who hasn't been through it, who hasn't worked with people who are going through it, how can they help you? How can they understand you? You know. And that is why I'm grateful, really, and I try to be, every time that some hard things come my way. Every time I'm dealing with a problem, I'm like, okay, cool, another thing that I get to be good at, another thing that if I get through it, I can help others get through it also. So they say like, don't pray for an easy life, pray for the skills to endure a hard life, something like that. I kind of like it. It's like, ask for skills, ask for hard things to come your way, so you build skills and become competent. At least that's the idea. Yeah, that's what I wanted to share.